Like everyone was having fun, the kind of feeling I made us all. Don't stop, come a little closer, and we have the feeling gets stronger. There's nothing wrong, just a little bit of fun. We were dancing, the time is right, my arms around you, you're feeling right, your arms around you, like suddenly. I feel a shining sun before I know it. Between us all, I know it's
Are we ready? Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Annie. I'm the content manager here at App Agent, We're so excited to have everyone. We had over 500 subscribers to this webinar, which is amazing. And we really hope that you guys enjoy the content and are able to take away something valuable that you can use in your work. I want to encourage everyone to ask questions and share your own experiences with AI in the chat as we move through that presentation. At the end of each section, we're going to have a little period where I can read off some of those questions, and Peter and Marty will answer them. So if everyone's ready, Peter, you can take it from here.
Excellent. Good morning, everyone from the Americas, and good afternoon to everyone from Europe and the rest of the world. Earlier this week, I asked my connections on LinkedIn when they expect AI will take over their jobs. And I was quite surprised to see that most of the people think this will happen in 10 years, and half of the votes are actually for never. And guys, I'm curious if those voters are here today, what they will say after we finish the webinar today. But maybe they are right, because AI won't replace jobs. It will actually help us to do more and actually do it fast and more efficiently. Speaking of LinkedIn, when I see my newsfeed, there's so many AI-related topics. It's actually completely flooded. And I don't know how about you, but I feel that not everything is relevant, not everything is usable. And I really want to understand how to use AI today practically. And therefore, both me and Martin have a goal today to help you understand how to use AI right now and how to prepare for the future. We have the content divided in a couple of chapters. The biggest part are Marty's creative use cases, and I will take the marketing use cases and hiring. And at the very end, we'll provide you some insights or forecast how AI might evolve in the near future and what you should expect in a year or two.
So yeah, hello everybody, welcome. I'm so glad that you guys joined today. As Peter said, we will be your hosts and guides today. My name is Marty. I'm a creative producer here at Agent. Something about me, ever since I was a kid, I was very passionate about video games and games in general. And I think you will later see that in the presentation.
Thanks, Marty. I will just drop a funny story. One of my first summer jobs was to manually enter web pages into, back then, Google's main competitor on the local market. Year after that, I've sold my first website to a real estate agency for $500. So it's interesting to see that within one generation, you can ask AI pretty much anything and get the answer immediately. You don't have to have people entering those pages into some database. And also, you can ask AI to code a web page for you. So that's how quickly this changed. I'm founder and CEO of AppAgent, as you might know, and because I've pitched AppAgent a million times, I asked AI to help me today and give us an introduction of AppAgent.
Founded in
Okay, so this was Revoicer, an AI tool that converts text to speech. And maybe it's not perfect yet, but it's getting very close. And actually, it's like 2 weeks ago when Microsoft published their R&D project where they are experimenting with text to speech. And I have to say, it was impossible to say what's a real human being recording and what's a generated voice. So we are getting very close to absolute perfection. We are working for these amazing clients at AppAgent. I will use some of their apps and games in the case studies we'll present today. And that's all for the introduction. Let's jump straight into AI. Marty, over to you.
Yes,
Thank you. So before we jump to the presentation itself, here's a quick overview of the tools that we have tested for you. We divided it into 3 categories: usable for work. Some of my colleagues, like Annie, for example, already using AI tools. Here we got ChatGPT, Jasper, Revoicer, Midjourney, and others. We also tested some tools that we think has limitations. So DID, I will talk about it later on. And we also tested some tools that was not really usable for our purposes. Okay, so my part will be mainly focusing on how you can use AI tools in creative processes and how you can really utilize them in concept creating or asset creating. We will also look at some comparisons of AI tools, and stay tuned because some big companies already using AI to their advantage. So I was thinking, how should I present to you today? And I thought, okay, let's take a card game that already exists. It is quite popular here in Czech Republic. It's called Bang. It's a Wild West theme card game with many characters and roles like Sheriff, Bandit, Outcast. Based on that role, you have a quest that you need to fulfill in order to win. But basically, you're just shooting left and right and hope for the win, really. So I've got this inspiration in front of me, very basic idea. I go to ChatGPT and give him keywords and say, hey, I want to create character, help me with the concept. Boom, within seconds, I have the character and the concept for it created. I have this description, I have the abilities, what it can do. I will generate the keywords from it, or I will take them because I can already see them. But now I am missing the visuals. So I will take the generated keywords, go to Midjourney, use them. You can play with the keywords, boom, just like that. I chose hyper-realistic style. You can choose any style you want. But within 5 minutes, I have the description, I know what the characters can do, I have the visual of it. So this is really helpful and can speed up the whole process. Here you can see Calamity Jane. But I want to take it a step further. So I want her to introduce herself to you guys. I really want her to bring it to life. So I will generate a script for her, and I will put the script alongside with the visuals into the ID.
Howdy, folks. I'm Calamity Jane, the deadliest woman in the Wild West. I've got 2 fast guns and a quick wit, and I'm not afraid to use.
That was just the short introduction, what it can do. You can see that it has its limitation. As we talked about, her hair was not moving. But my favorite question throughout this webinar will be like, what it can do in following month or week. This is what it can do now. Let's see. This maybe will sound like we have a paid cooperation with Midjourney. It's not like that. Here's a Midjourney. Here's a Stable Diffusion. Same prompts, same time. I would say different outcome, but I will let you to be the judge of that. You can write into the chat what is your favorite, and we'll see. Okay, icons. Quite a huge part of graphic designers. It can take so many times, especially if you are creating it from the scratch. I was able to create this, again, within minutes. And you can see its limitation. It has 2 ends. The game only has 1 end, but this can serve only as an outline for the whole creative process. This can be the starting point. And if this is the starting point, the whole process of the production can be just super fast, and this can be a like extreme acceleration. However, there are workarounds. Please don't hate me for the left picture. This was created within 10 seconds in PowerPoint. So it's just really a test and showcase that you can you can have the text correctly spelled in Midjourney by using reference, having the mix on, and so on.
Martin, fun fact here. Would you believe that I know the founder of Midjourney in person?
Okay.
We actually have met in 2013. I was running my company back then in the gaming space, and we were developing games for a gesture controller called Leap Motion. And that's actually the previous business of David Holtz, who is now the founder of Midjourney. And we visited this company in San Francisco and discussed some collaborations. And when I was running this meeting, he was sitting next to me with a bunch of engineers refining the tracking. And I realized this only a few weeks ago when my 9-year-old son asked when Midjourney was launched. So I started Googling and realized it's just a couple of months ago, July 2022, and then I've seen that David Holtz is the founder. So Word is a small place, and it's amazing that this guy is now working on some cool new business. Another interesting fact, it's self-funded. So if you consider that Midjourney is self-funded and already generating some profit, as I've been able to Google, and then OpenAI being heavily funded by companies such as Microsoft, it's an interesting difference. So let's see how both will be doing in the future. These are my 2 cents.
Okay, that's amazing. I didn't know that. Again, guys, not a paid corporation with Midjourney. Okay, moving on. Can I see the presentation? Yeah, feature graphics. Yeah, again, useful tool for creating the graphics to your game. So now the concept is really starting to gain life, and it's coming all together. You can even play with emotions in Midjourney. So if you want anger, happiness, sadness, anything you want, really, you can try. Yeah, indoor locations, again, text is the limit, but if I was playing this game, I would love to have a whiskey in this bar. I mean, come on.
Here's my second input. It's only a few days ago when Netflix Japan announced the first animated movie called Dog and the Boy. And you have shown us these beautiful location images. And maybe there's some people on the webinar today wondering, how can I actually use it for game production? So these guys producing the movie for Netflix actually generated all the backgrounds that you can see in this on this slide, as well as the rest of the short movie that's 3-4 minutes long, using AI. We don't know if it was Midjourney or Stable Diffusion. Some expect, based on the look, it's Stable Diffusion. But it's a practical showcase how we can streamline the production today. You can create a background, you can create an item, you can create a weapon, and then either use it as is or tweak it a bit, as you can see in this beautiful example. So have a look, Google this headline, and you can watch it yourself. You wouldn't say this is done by a machine.
Yeah, exactly. 100% agree. So yeah, with the same process that we created characters, we can create items in the game. And have a look. The AI is quite clever. It known that we are creating it for the game, so the effects and abilities of the items are really the ones that you are normally see in the games. You can use one, you can use two, you can combine it, you can really do whatever you want, but then again, it's speeding up the whole process. And once again, the visuals, I'm from Czech Republic, I'm a beer lover, and these beers are looking really, really tasty. Another items, now we can see them in 2D. Peter, when we will be able to see them in a 3D, what do you think?
Oh, well, considering how quickly this is developing, I believe it's or like happening, maybe with not the quality that you would like to see in, let's say, decent game. Like these visuals are amazing. Imagine them having in 3D. But I believe that within the next 12 months, we can get some decent quality. And what's actually interesting that already today, you can use tools such as AccuRig to rig a human character. And the rigging is like how the character should be moving, you know, the joints and generally the body movements. So you can use AI to do this daunting work that takes hours, and 3D modelers don't like it much. And also, once the character is rigged, you can use another AI tool called Plusk, Google for Plusk.ai, which actually can transfer your body movements captured from the camera on your iPhone to this model. So what was back then done with very expensive technology that only big studios have, you can now do from your MacBook in your living room. And you know, unless you are doing like a AAA movie, it's a decent quality. So that's actually what we are exploring now at AppAgent, and we believe that this can really help us to streamline the production and do cool stuff without actually paying shitloads of money for some external collaboration.
Yeah. Pretty cool. All right, moving on. Yeah, another showcase of items. I'm not a graphic designer. I can't really paint, but let's say I have a idea that I want to present to my creative team. I can use AI. I can generate gun. I can generate hats, and they immediately will get the vibe what I am looking for. So yeah. Here you could hear the trailer for the game.
If the sound works, we had some technical issues before, so I'm not sure if people can hear it now. All right, so let's move on.
Well, okay, but very quickly, script in ChatGPT, sound in Beethoven, and voiceovers in Revoicer, just within minutes, really.
I haven't mentioned one thing when I was giving a brief overview of my career. I originally applied at the university for a graphic designer, and I soon realized that it's not the best thing for me. I can't draw. I'm not an artist myself, but I believe that everyone in creative space, in media space, who is working on some creative asset, you know, be it a game or some ad or some item for let's say a game, needs to provide good inspiration to artists. And I feel that both like me as a marketer or your role, Marty, as a producer, is to distill all the information about the product, about the audience, about competition, about the tone of voice, style, into something that's possible to transfer to the other side, to creative people, and inspire them so they can actually develop something that fulfills the original vision. And I think that tools like Midjourney can help us, people who can't draw and don't have these skills, to really express ourselves better and to help our counterparts to fully understand where we are heading. So that's something I would recommend to everyone who is part of the creative process. Use these tools, use them as a visualization of your ideas, and you will see that you will get better results afterwards.
Yeah, 100% agree. Those are the tools that are really useful for you. Yeah, another example, how can you utilize it? Let's say you have a long text, long concept, you need to generate 5 keywords. You can do it very quickly. You ask ChatGPT to generate it, put it in Midjourney, boom, then again, you have the visual concept. Comparison, Midjourney, Dall-E, same prompts, different outcomes. I was trying to create icons for Overwatch mobile game. Again, I will let you to be the judge of those. But I'm not such a hater of Dall-E. I think it has one very, very useful tool. We can see the picture. It's okay, it's decent, but I want to make it more interesting. Dall-E, you can you can edit within the picture. You will mark the parts that you want to edit and write another prompts, boom, just like that. You got I don't know if it's a dream or nightmare, but you have, let's say, more interesting outcome of the visual. And cool thing about Midjourney, in the end, you can choose art style and artists, and you can basically use them as an inspiration and as a starting point for your creations. So I don't want to say that the options are limitless, but there are a lot of options that you can use within this tool. And yeah.
Okay, so now we have a moment to take some questions from the audience. So if you have a question, please drop it into the chat. At the moment, there's a bit of a conversation about the legality of AI tools like Midjourney. I'll bring one of those comments up here. The only issue with using Midjourney is the legal side of things. They are being sued on multiple fronts, so companies should research that properly. Do you guys have thoughts on this?
I do have one. When I was running my previous company called Flow Studio Games, we were creating a movie quiz game called Cut. And we were using some snippets from movies in the prototype where we wanted to verify that it's actually interesting gameplay when you have to guess. Actually, you see the clip first, and then there's some questions. It's a quiz. So, for example, how many characters were in the shot? What has happened in the background? And we were speaking to multiple people. One guy was coming from Denmark, from Startup Bootcamp, and he told us when we were discussing the legal side of things, guys don't care about this because every new technology, every new big thing is usually facing some legal issues in the beginning. That's part of the story, and it needs some time to resolve the legal issues because this is always behind the tech itself. So of course, now we have these questions. It will take probably a couple of years to resolve them because developing some new laws takes ages compared to how quickly technology is evolving. But actually, I believe that at some point we'll have to find some middle ground. So it's not about like stealing someone's art, but actually we can use the benefits of generative AI at work without any major restrictions. So let's see how it goes. I believe this will take much longer than the evolution of the technology itself.
Great. Another question, can you repeat the names of the tools that you use for character animation during the introduction and the tool that can do motion capture with iPhone?
Yeah, sure. So it's called AccuRig, ACCURIG, and the second is Plask, PLASK.ai. Maybe Annie, you can check it from speaker notes and copy it in the chat for everyone.
Absolutely. Okay. Would you guys like one more question from the chat?
Oh, we have a good time. So
Okay. This one is from Alex. What about when you have a branded product as F1, soccer, basketball, etc., with original branded assets? Do these tools add those branded assets into the creative?
Marty, you want to take it, or should I? I have had a discussion about this yesterday with one of people who joined us, so I can follow up on this if you want.
No, go ahead.
No, so it's quite a problem, technically speaking, because I've also tried to, let's say, show an image from the game and then generate something that will follow the same style. And it's pretty much this technique of mixing that Marty showed with this logo, but it's not there yet. What I think will be the next stage of Midjourney or Dall-E or Stable Diffusion would be that you upload your assets into some database, and AI will be able to understand the art style and just generate more assets in the same, let's say, look and feel. The question is how many you would need to input to get a quality result, because we know that these tools are trained of gazillions of data. Would it be enough if you upload 50 characters or 30 different, let's say, concept art to get the same result. I don't know, but I feel the teams behind these tools are already working on this.
Okay, amazing. And actually, we have time for one more question from Simon. Which creative AI do you prefer when it comes to using a PNG or a JPEG file as an input? Do you guys have an answer for this?
Well, for me, it's 100% Midjourney. It doesn't matter if you use JPEG or PNG. And to me, the quality at the moment, at least for my usage, the Midjourney is up here. The other tools, sadly, under it.
Okay, and that's all.
Nice seeing you, Simon. I have one thing for you once we get to my part. Stay tuned.
Okay, amazing. Okay, so if you guys are ready, we can move on from the Q&A. I will take a second. As you guys can probably tell, we love to speak on creativity here. So in addition to webinars like this one, we also have a resource series called and experts in the mobile industry. So this was a quick preview for those who haven't seen it. Here you go. Okay. And so we are currently looking for guests who'd like to come on the show and speak with me about AI-related topics. So if you're interested, you can reach out to me at annie@fagent.com, and we can take it back to Peter now.
Excellent. So let's move to the second major part that covers marketing use cases. You can see lots of bullet points here. I will try to be quick and efficient to show you how you can practically use ChatGPT. I've tested a couple of tools. This one is probably the best so far. And you can use it on your desktop, but also in a mobile app. So this first example is actually something you can do on your way to work when you have some spare time. If you download some app like this one from the App Store, you can do, for example, competition research when you are in the restroom. So the first thing that makes a ton of sense to me already today is a research. I've picked the meditation space and asked ChatGPT to name top 10 mobile meditation apps, and next to the list of top 10 to also show me average monthly downloads from the last year. And that's a task that will take a human person, like a human being, maybe 15-20 minutes. You have to go to a tool such as Aptica. You have to figure out which apps were the most downloaded or have the biggest revenue. Then you have to go one by one and filter the time range and pull the data yourself. Here you can type it in 10 seconds, you have the answer. You might ask me where this data comes from. When I was playing with this search query, in the next questions I asked always for the source, and it's coming, for example, from Sensor Tower, Mobile Action, or Data AI. So these are reliable sources, and you can always ask where this information are sourced and understand how much you can trust, to what ChatGPT tells you. Let's go a bit deeper. There's Headspace on the 4th position. So if I'm doing competition research, I want to understand first and foremost what the unique selling proposition of such a product, to understand where they are positioned, and if I'm developing app within this space, how can I be different? So again, this is quite difficult to teach even a junior marketer. You have to understand what is unique selling proposition, how to pull it from the website, social media, other communication channels, and pretty much put it in one sentence. So quite a complex task. And again, in a few seconds, you have the answer, which is pretty decent. ChatGPT speaks about this app helping with happiness, stress and anxiety relief, personal growth, and provides a few more insights into the positioning of Headspace. This is absolutely great and could be immediately used for mapping all your major competitors. You can also ask about the sentiment of user reviews, because one thing is the positioning defined by the company. Second is how people feel about the product. And the sentiment is something that's quite difficult to pull automatically and even like manually. But here you have very good overview that people like how it's helping them with several mindfulness tools, that it's user-friendly designed, and also that there are some concerns regarding expensive subscription, but that people anyway find it worth investing. Pretty cool, isn't it? Let's move to the second use case. At Ideation, we are working with an app called Enduko. This is an AI fitness coach for people like me who love to cycle or run. They have some, let's say, competitions throughout the season and want to get prepared for those major races. So I asked ChatGPT to help me with 6 marketing headlines, and they should be really short. And again, there's a decent proposal by ChatGPT, but I still feel this is like not there yet. I want something a bit more casual, so I can ask to adjust the style. And those 6 new that are within the same lines as the initial proposition are already much more like emotional and attractive. So you can use these, for example, as a copy for your Facebook ads. Speaking of ads, you can ask ChatGPT to act as, let's say, idea maker, or later you will see asking ChatGPT to be like a talent sorcerer. And by that, you pretty much define the role and what you're expecting. And here I want concepts for Facebook and TikTok with a strong emphasis on the beginning, on the initial hook, because as you might know, the first 3 to 5 seconds are absolutely critical. So I have here 5 decent directions, creative directions that could be summarized into these points. And personal coach that adjusts to you, that you should stop using generic plans made for everyone, because every athlete has different background level and maybe goals, and also different peak in the season, that you can compete with friends. You can also customize training plans, and you can prepare for a specific race. That's perfect start if you are just getting into concepting, and this can streamline the ideation for everyone, including us marketers or creative people. Because we work for Supercell, I played a bit with Clash Royale. We want to create new App Store screenshots, and I'm always starting when I'm tasked to do so with the question what people love about the app or game here in particular. So the answer is that Clash Royale is popular because of the real-time multiplayer, strategic aspect, that there are cards you can collect, and also its, let's say, design, style, and live tournaments and other things. So we now see people, ChatGPT knows Clash Royale. They know what people like about it. So we can use this for punchy headlines, for screenshots. Maximum 5 words, because the shorter the better. Here we go. Dominate the arena. Solid. Unleash epic battles. That's really fitting well. Or join the Royal community. Well, how about adding a bit more emotions again? So that was my request, and the new package is already having much more power in my eyes. You can use Fight for the Crown, because these crowns are showing how much damage you did to your opponent, or join the Royal Revolution. That's pretty cool. So that's for screenshots. But how about icons? Marty already mentioned a couple of tools, including Midjourney, Dall-E, Stable Diffusion, and there are some partnerships happening. And one of those is between Shutterstock and Dall-E, where I asked for a couple of icons, and this is the result. I wanted to use the Goblin because it's one of the popular characters in Supercell cinematics. And Marty, how do you like this outcome? What's your favorite one, if I
Honestly, the outcome is not that bad, but if I have to choose, the third one.
You don't have to.
I mean, the third one's good though. Like, I don't mind the third one.
Well, I don't think that we are able to sell this to Supercell.
Yeah, well, probably.
Anyway, let's move to the app space. We have lots of people also coming from the app space today on the webinar. So we are working for an app called InstaBridge. What's InstaBridge? I asked ChatGPT and I got a funny answer. As you can read, ChatGPT is saying it's not familiar with the app because it can't look into Google Play Store, but there are many apps available on the market that can help users connect to Wi-Fi networks. InstaBridge is one of them. So actually it does know what InstaBridge is. So that's a good start. And I've asked to get me, I provided ChatGPT a list of keywords that I've got from AppTweak. Hi, Simon again. And later used this list with search popularity for subtitles. So this is input ChatGPT can actually apply, and I've got 3 and then also 5 more ideas using these popular keywords. So again, this is quite some work if you are doing this manually, and it can again streamline ASO managers' work and adjusting keywords. And that's where I believe tools such as AppTweak or AppFollow should go in the future to make this fully automated, because there's no point that people are like playing with keywords and are doing all of this manually. I believe it makes sense to do this with the help of AI, and I am absolutely convinced this will lead to better results. Because I'm cycling a lot, I love Strava, and I wanted to see how ChatGPT is able to create long description. And I've started asking about the frequency of keywords in Google Play description. So here is one of the limitations. For whatever reason, ChatGPT is not able to scrape the data from the Play Store, maybe because it's, let's say, different company, and Google is building this wall between the internet and what data they own. And
maybe if I can quickly jump in, sorry, because the line between let's say good and bad AI content in the eyes of Google is like very blurry, and we know that Google has been against AI content for quite some time. However, they changed their mind in the past year, and now they don't care if it's AI, if it's written by AI, as long as it's for the people. So there is this massive change, and the question is, where is the line? How we can utilize AI in order to get the descriptions that you talk about, but still maintaining like some value.
Yeah,
of it.
That's a very blurry line, and let's see how this will be refined over the upcoming months, because lots of people are using AI to generate new blog posts, and you can say this is for people. There's most likely good value, but the main purpose is that your page gets indexed and you generate traffic. So like this is tricky, of course, and we would have to adjust to the rules so that Google will most likely update. All right, so because ChatGPT is not able to read the description itself, I've copied it, pasted it, and afterwards I immediately got the list of words with a higher frequency, and then continued with the brief of what I actually want. So 1500 characters, should be SEO optimized, and here's the result. I'll give you a few seconds to go through it. I believe it's pretty decent. And this could be used for some A/B test in stores. And moreover, you can use ChatGPT for translation into any language, here, for example, German. But the trick is that you shouldn't ask for translation. You should ask for rewriting the text so it sounds more natural. If you have someone from Germany here, please have a look now on the output and let us know in comments if this sounds good to you. I've studied German language for 13 years, but it's like 20 years ago since I used it the last time, so I can't say myself. Okay then, reviews. Every product and the more popular, the more reviews there are in the app stores, and it's super difficult to answer all of those and to provide feedback and generally show the community that you hear them. So here's a 3-star review from Strava that I found and copied into ChatGPT and asked for a response. Again, the response is, in my eyes, very, very good. It even could be used as is. And with a few tweaks, this is absolutely perfect. So imagine how long it will take a person writing this and how long it will take just to edit a few bits and pieces and post it. So these are the things that we should definitely start using. And the last part of this section is a great tool I've discovered recently. It's an extension for Google Sheets called GPT-4 Sheets. And you can use all the capabilities we are discussing today in the environment of this spreadsheet. So for example, removing some elements from names or adjusting the entity to summarize these reviews, to summarize the sentiment. So it's super powerful and can really reduce many, many hours that otherwise have to be done manually. So that's all for this part. Martin, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, actually, I have one more news to add, because we talked about ChatGPT a lot. We know it's a hot stuff, but Google is coming up with its own AI tool. It will be called Apprentice Bard. It will be based on Lambda language model, and it will have the similar user interface as ChatGPT. So stay tuned. I think we can expect it in following months, maybe even weeks. We'll see. But yeah, the competition is getting heated.
Okay, so just to wrap this up, I strongly believe we should embrace these AI tools and integrate it in our creative process, because you can already see right now that it will save us a ton of time. So now, time for the second round of Q&As.
Great. Okay, so we can pull a question from a little bit ago. A different side. Aren't we a bit afraid that changing the creative process like that will lose a bit of creativity? When I'm working with designers and young art directors, I sometimes feel that even over-explaining a concept makes the final result less new and creative. What do you guys think about
That's
that?
definitely a fine line, I would say. But in every creative process, you need inputs on the beginning, as I already described on this yellow schema in the middle of the presentation. You need to start somewhere. And of course, like lazy people will just hit Command-C or Ctrl-C on PC and paste it. But I feel that those who are smart will use it really as a starting point. It's something that will help them to get the ball rolling and maybe to explore some new angles they haven't considered themselves. I will speak in a second about some hiring use cases, and the ideas that I've got from ChatGPT were actually something that I hadn't considered myself. So, it's like with everything else. Would you say that if you are using Photoshop, you are becoming less creative compared to using a brush and painting on a canvas? Depends, because it's really a tool, and the way how we use it is up to each and every one.
Great. Okay, next question. Have you tested if AI-generated content meant for ASO works better compared to the content written by a human?
Short answer is comparable. Mm-hmm. It's already decent. But again, we use it for getting the version 1, the input, and then we tweak it. Like we pretty much never copy-paste was the output from ChatGPT. There's always some human touch. So would you say this is fully comparable? Again, it's about better efficiency, I would say.
Okay. We can move on if you guys are ready for that.
Excellent. So we are 44 minutes in the webinar. So last section is about HR use cases. I'm as a founder involved a lot in hiring. And speaking of hiring, because there's lots of creative people, we have some hot news. There's many layoffs. Many people are searching for jobs. So if you are idea maker, creative director, or creative producer, we have some openings. Please do check our career pages, and maybe you will see something that is your dream job. So let's continue with how to use ChatGPT for HR purposes. So again, I'm using this technique of telling ChatGPT to act as someone, as a talent coach here. And I will give the tool, the AI, some job role. I would like to get some hints. What should I look for in CVs, and also what should be the candidates, the questions for candidates. So here I have a couple of ideas for user acquisition manager. You can again quickly scan through this and see that this is, let's say, for a junior recruiter, pretty decent starting point. Let's say that we have the candidate in the hiring pipeline. Now we need to test his or her skills and assess whether the person is a good fit. So again, we have a couple of ideas, for example, to use scenario-based questions to do some simulations, to do behavioral interviews. So I would say that checking, your, let's say, best practices with AI is the best way how to get ultimately perfect output that you can use in practice. And what we are actually using very often at AppAgent is an AI tool called Otter. It creates automatic transcript of interview with, let's say, a candidate. So we can fully focus on speaking to the candidate, to understanding his or her background, and the transcript is happening in the background. Then we have chapters that help us to navigate in the interview. So it's perfectly streamlining these conversations and helping us to really do one thing greatly, and that's interview itself. But as already said before, we had a couple of examples when this is not perfect yet. You can see that not always the transcript is top-notch, maybe because of our accent, maybe because the AI needs to improve first, maybe because we drink too much beer. I was speaking about some layoffs. We have today here my friend Yevgeny Tarasenko, who unfortunately got laid off recently from Tilting Point, and because he's my friend and helped us a few times in the past, I would like to help him today. So if any one of you is looking for an organic growth specialist, please ping Yevgeny. He's available for some great role, either in Barcelona or remotely from Barcelona. All right, then. So let's speak about the future of AI.
By the way, if you can't get enough of AI and you'd like to receive weekly updates on the topic, you can subscribe to Peter's new LinkedIn newsletter called Mobile Artificial Insights. I will drop a link in the chat for anyone who's interested.
Thanks, Annie.
Yep.
And Martin.
Create a future with AI. Yeah. So what will happen? We'll be able to create analysis and have a deeper understanding of this just using AI. We will be able to generate assets, 3D assets, 2D assets, basically everything we need, and we will be creating our own library. Also, possible future is that within this library, we will be able to just say, create video variations for me without really needing somewhat bigger input. UGC ads, face and voice variation is already happening. Deepfake, sorry, we see DID and so on. So this is near future, maybe a bit present. And yeah, 3D models from text. We'll be able to write words that we want to generate, and we will get a beautiful 3D asset.
And let's speak about the marketing future with AI as the very last part. So I've shown you how you can use AI for computational research. I believe this can go much further. Imagine that you will ask AI what have, for example, creatives by games, let's say the game Forge of Empires and Supercell's Clash of Clans in common, the top performing creatives, or what people like about top 5 strategy games the most. So things that will require some combination skills and again take quite a lot of time if you do it manually. So these things would tremendously save time. Or we can also expect that if we want to present, let's say, a prototype of a game or of an app, we would be able to ask the AI to find the right, let's say, potential users. Imagine that you are developing an app for university students in New York, and you can ask, find me a female student, 20 to 25 years old in New York who likes fashion. And you will get a list of these people whom you can invite for user tests or for some survey, because the AI will be able to understand from their social media posts who they are, where they live, what they do, and actually some tool will connect you together. So this could be the way how to better understand our customers. Next, I have to move it. AI to AI user acquisition. It's actually nonsense that user acquisition managers are managing campaigns manually these days, because on the other side, in Facebook or TikTok, there's a machine. So it should be machine talking to machine. The effectivity will be way bigger because you can test way more in a shorter time and really achieve better results. We have touched App Store optimization a few times today. So search optimization done automatically in all languages is, I believe, coming soon. Simon, please work on this. We would love to get this ASAP in AppTweak. And also, because there's lots of subscription-based apps that are using web-to-app flow, I can imagine that all the landing pages, or especially landing pages that are made for content marketing, these little snippets of content that you can see, for example, below an article in Wall Street Journal, go to some landing page where you can automatically test headlines, images, copy, call to action, and then funnel users to subscribe and download the app. So that's what I hope will happen very soon, because all these use cases will tremendously help us. This is pretty much one of the last slides, and I would like to say here that at the moment, we are at this very peak of inflated expectations from AI. And this curve is applicable to every new technology, be it crypto, be it VR, or NFT, now it's AI. We are at this very top, super excited about this. I am as well, I have to admit. But very soon there will be this disillusionment because we understand some limitations. For example, we want to get assets looking the same as our game, or we want to have a logo without these double N's, etc., etc. So that will be happening probably in a few weeks, maybe a few months maximum. And then it usually takes 1 to 3 years for the tech to mature and become massively adopted and really helping us with productivity. In this case, I truly believe it will be much shorter. It might be a year maximum, because this technology is growing exponentially in terms of quality. So just be ready for this future and actually understand that AI is force multiplier. We shouldn't fight it, we should embrace it.
Okay, so I guess we can wrap it up here. Thank you all for joining. It would be amazing if you could rate how much you enjoyed today's content in the chat. We would really appreciate your feedback. We know there were a few technical difficulties, but we will be sharing the presentation slides and the video recording with everyone who was registered. So don't worry if you missed something. And do you guys have any final thoughts to add?
Thanks for joining, and let us know
joining.
your use cases and what works for you.
Yes, and if I missed any questions, please feel free to ping Peter on LinkedIn. He's very responsive there. So thank you so much, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.